This is ABC 7 News at 6.
Fire crews are responding to what started as a small debris burn in Piscataquis County and ended up scorching over an acre of woodlands in Williamsburg Township. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Beth Jones. It's happening in the area of 811 Williamsburg Road. Multiple crews are joined by the Maine Forest Service in battling this destructive wildfire. Now we know that one individual has been displaced, but no occupants of the residence there were injured. One firefighter was treated on scene with minor injuries. After speaking with crews, we know the fire started behind a mobile home as an unpermitted debris burn and then spread into the trailer. That home is now a total loss, as are multiple surrounding buildings and vehicles.
It actually today couldn't have worked out any better. The Forest Service had resources right in the area, so they were able to show up on scene very quickly with our structural assets, and they took over the wildland side of the fire, and we were able to use the local fire departments to take care of the structures and the buildings and pieces along those lines.
Well, we do have a crew on scene. We'll bring you any additional updates as we get them, and we'll have more on this story in our later newscasts. In the meantime, a young Brewer restaurant server is being hailed as a hero for performing quick, life-saving measures on a customer who went into cardiac arrest. Our Grace Blanchard has the story.
Just something that you never, ever would picture would happen, especially on a Sunday morning.
A routine shift at Mad Catz and Brewer took a terrifying turn when one of their regulars suffered a sudden medical emergency.
When I first saw it, I'm like, wait, what is that? And then I realized it was somebody on the floor.
And then a guy got down, took his pulse, and said he didn't have one. He wasn't breathing.
Owner Kathleen Marquitz says that's when her 17-year-old server, Abigail Sprague, put her CPR certification to use and jumped into action.
Abby's like, well, I'm certified. And we're like, get down here. And for 6 minutes, she and I did chest compressions and mouth to mouth.
For Sprague, a Brewer High School senior who has only been a server with Mad Cat for a little over a month, it was training she never imagined having to use.
It just happened, I don't know. I just started doing what I had to do in that moment and hope for the best, honestly.
And they continued those efforts until paramedics arrived on scene. EMTs got him stable enough to be transported to a local hospital, where Marquitz says he will be having surgery for a pacemaker this week. The Mad Catz team credits Abby's brave action with saving the customer's life.
I just think I did what I had to do at that moment. I just knew that he had to be okay, so we did our best to try to keep him okay.
She didn't say, well, you know, maybe, I don't know. No, she just went and did it. Yeah, they should be calling her a hero, really, truly, because she is.
In Brewer, Grace Blanchard, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
A hero indeed. Meanwhile, a chaotic scene at Next Generation Theater in Brewer today after a car struck the building. According to Brewer police, the call came in around 10:45 a.m. of a reported vehicle versus building on Center Street. Police say no one was hurt. The driver had one passenger in the vehicle and drove into the front of the building. Police say it was believed to be the result of driver inexperience.
We got down there and came to find out it was minor. It was very minor. A little cosmetic damage to the building, and it was mostly caused by driver inexperience. But again, the accident's still under investigation. But nobody was hurt, and it appears to just be cosmetic damage.
The owner of the business says they were in the process of opening when the crash happened. They say classes scheduled for tonight and shows happening this weekend will not be impacted. And again, that crash, police still looking into it. A Bangor police officer will now be assigned to monitor the city's parks. The move comes as city officials report an uptick in calls about what they describe as problematic or illegal behavior following the closure of the city's warming and day shelters earlier this month. During Monday night's city council meeting, Bangor City Manager Carolyn Lear said the added coverage could cost the city up to $680 per day, but city officials say something needs to be done.
I think one of the challenges is that a lot of the behaviors that are getting reported to us by the time an officer arrives, the person has left or is no longer doing that thing that was reported. And so we're hoping that this will be a way to respond a bit more quickly in the moment.
Lear says the new patrol is set to officially begin Friday, May 1st. However, when our reporter drove by Pierce Park next to the library this afternoon, a police officer was already parked out front. In other news tonight, the Maine Public Utilities Commission has issued a notice that water service rates could be going up for the town of Skowhegan, as the Maine Water Company has submitted a request for a rate increase for water and fire protection services. Now, the proposed rate increase amounts to an almost 60% hike. A typical residential customer in Skowhegan could see an increase of about $18.92 per month in their bill. The new rates, if approved by the commission, would go into effect in April of next year. The town says residents can take action. You can submit comments to the Public Utilities Commission and attend the public hearing, which will be held at Saco City Hall in Saco on May 6th. You can also attend that meeting virtually. Now, we'll have more information a bit later on this evening on our website, foxbangor.com. Well, in 2018, Maine made history, becoming the first state in the country to use ranked choice voting in a federal election. Since then, the system has become a fixture in Maine's primary elections, quietly reshaping how campaigns are run. Our Alex Schley spoke with political analysts about how they say the system is shaping the state's evolving political landscape.
While the long-term implications of ranked choice voting in Maine remains to be seen, political analysts say the system's effects are reflected in how candidates campaign for the upcoming election.
Yes, you want people's vote, but you don't want to alienate a voter that supports another candidate so bad that they're going to rank you last, right? Because you want to be their second choice or their third choice.
In November 2016, Maine voters approved a referendum to use ranked choice voting, meaning voters now number their preferred candidates. According to the Department of Secretary of State's website, a candidate who earns more than 50% of first choice votes wins outright. If no one reaches that threshold, the candidate with the fewest votes is eliminated, and those ballots are redistributed based on their second choice. This process continues until a majority winner emerges. University of Maine political science chair Mark Brewer says that system is changing how candidates engage with both voters and each other ahead of the June 9th primary. He points to a Sierra Club Maine event last week, where gubernatorial candidates Shanna Bellows, Troy Jackson, and Hannah Pingree appeared together and received an unprecedented joint endorsement.
You see that dynamic because of ranked choice voting.
Pingree, who has run for office 7 times, says the system encourages a more constructive campaign environment.
It makes the election quite positive. I mean, we're asking for people's number 1 vote, but we would like to be number 2 as well. So we've had, I think, 17 forums and debates. They've been very positive.
Both Pingree and Brewer say, while it's too early to fully understand the system's long-term effects, it is already helping to shape a more collaborative and competitive 2026 election cycle.
I think it kind of raises the level of debate. At least that's what I've observed on the Democratic side.
You've got a bunch of well-qualified candidates. You've got candidates that differ from each other enough that people have real choices.
I'm Alex Schley reporting for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Workers' Memorial Day is a nationally recognized day to remember those who have died on the job or as a result of their job. Unfortunately, Maine is no stranger to such tragic occurrences, and today those workers were honored. The Maine Department of Labor and Maine Labor Group on Health held a remembrance for the Maine workers who died in 2025. They held that ceremony on the north lawn of the State House in Augusta. Governor Janet Mills read a proclamation officially declaring today Workers' Memorial Day in Maine in honor of those injured or killed on the job each year in our state. She remarked on the DOT employees working just feet from where she was speaking.
I'm standing there looking out to the roadway here, watching a guy put out these cones. And I'm thinking every car that goes by is potentially a death threat to these workers who are trying to keep us safe and who have to be concerned about their own safety every second. We do what we can, and we regret and we miss these individuals every day.
Mills said most workplace injuries or deaths are preventable, and she urged employers to review and strengthen workplace safety practices and to urge employees to speak up about workplace injuries. Alrighty, folks, let's pause now. We'll turn things over and take a first look at our forecast.
All right, Beth, thank you. Happy Tuesday. Let's start here. High temperatures again today, mid-upper 60s across the area. Yesterday, low 70s, but a bit cooler today. And tomorrow, though, some big changes are on the way. A cold front is on the way, bringing us cooler temperatures tomorrow and lots of cloud cover and rain showers. Right now, though, it's still awesome outside for a little bit longer, followed by this getting in here tonight. And then off and on throughout the day tomorrow, likely some rain showers across the region. Futurecast shows the clouds increasing out there tonight, and then by tomorrow, some light rain showers in here. That becomes more of a heavier rain event, though, for us late Wednesday into Thursday. So again, there is a lot of rain showers that are coming, especially for Thursday into Friday of this week. Our forecast for tonight, though, is clouding over with low temperatures down near 40. Your full forecast is coming up.
Thank you so much, Jeff. And just ahead, we'll take a look at national headlines.
Hank's Husqvarna is your trusted full-line Husqvarna dealer, offering you everything you need for your outdoor projects. From high-performance lawn tractors and zero-turn mowers to chainsaws, trimmers, battery-powered and powerful snowblowers, we have just what you need. Every piece of equipment is fully set up, serviced, and ready for use by our certified Husqvarna technician. And all sales are backed by our in-house Husqvarna warranty. For parts, service, or new equipment sales, make your way to Hank's Husqvarna in Carmel or Newport.
Hi, I'm Tony with TC Hafford Basement Systems. All things basementy. Is your foundation shifting, settling, or cracking? Don't wait till it's too late. We offer the most reliable solutions to lift and stabilize your sinking foundation. With our advanced piering techniques, we'll ensure your home is back on solid ground. Call TC Hafford Basement Systems today for all things basementy.
The marathon of life can be challenging. Chores and responsibilities keep us from the things we once loved and the aspirations we set. But it's never too late to find your second wind. With an affordable, fully online program and advisors to help you along the way, you can cross the finish line when it works for you. Finish strong at the University of Maine.
Who is the real Graham Plattner? He calls rural Mainers stupid and racist. Plattner says some Maine lobstermen are drug-addicted pieces of shit. He blames Maine's women for getting raped because he says they get up drunk. Graham Plattner even bragged about a Nazi tattoo on his chest. He calls it eminently reasonable. That's the real Graham Plattner. To be continued. Pine Tree Results Pack is responsible for the content of this advertising.
There's one number you need to know. It's called Joe.
King Charles is in Washington, D.C. today, where he is set to speak before Congress in carefully crafted remarks aimed at unifying the U.S. and U.K. The trip, part of the 250th anniversary celebration of American independence from Great Britain, is largely seen as a push for diplomacy through the tension between American and British leadership as the war with Iran, tariffs, and the Epstein fallout each loom large. ABC's Christiane Cordero is on Capitol Hill with the latest.
Today, and for the first time in nearly 2 decades, the British monarchy is in Washington for an official state visit. The Trump administration rolled out the red carpet for King Charles and Queen Camilla. During a formal hello at the White House.
So today we look back on 250 years. Let us remember what has made our countries the two most exceptional nations the world has ever known.
Followed by a bilateral meeting in the Oval Office. It's a full day of diplomacy for the royal couple, largely considered a good friend of the president and an extension of goodwill between two nations whose tension is otherwise taut. The war with Iran, repeated threats of tariffs, and the fallout over the Epstein files each loom over the visit. The king today meeting with congressional leadership, emphasizing what the two countries have in common, calling for those shared values to be defended.
The royal family and the British government have been very clear about this trip. They want the American public to understand that this is not about the government of the day. This is about a visit that transcends through the ages.
This is the second time a British monarch has spoken before a joint Congress, the first being King Charles's mother, the late Queen Elizabeth, 35 years ago. The day's events end tonight with a state dinner at the White House. Christiane Cordero, ABC News, Capitol Hill.
Still to come on ABC 7 News at 6, our Jody Hersey was in Gouldsboro to highlight a local nonprofit organization that is repurposing old lobster traps. Stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Bush, and I know what you're thinking, not another Bush, but hear me out. I'm not a politician or a lobbyist. I'm a veteran, an entrepreneur who created over 900 jobs in Maine. And as governor, I'll take a sledgehammer to Janet Mills' wasteful spending. I'll slash your taxes, property, and income, and put the Democrats' woke policies in the shredder. I'm Jonathan Bush. It's time for a... Johnny, don't touch the shredder!
You bought your Toyota because Toyota is the longest-lasting brand. You put your trust in Toyota's reputation for quality. Now put your trust in Toyota-trained certified technicians who install genuine Toyota parts to help keep your Toyota a Toyota. April is our tire savings event. You could save on tires at your New England Toyota dealer with limited time offers. Trust the experts at Toyota Service Centers and keep your Toyota a Toyota.
With over 30 years of experience, Patriot General Contractors knows how to get your home renovation project done right. Our certified contractors can help you build, redesign, or finish the project of your dreams. Check out Facebook page for reviews and visit patriotgeneralcontractors.com to schedule your quote today. Patriot General Contractors, redesigning your properties for the future.
You can't see third-hand smoke, but you may smell it. Third-hand smoke is toxic chemicals left behind by smoking and vaping. These chemicals stick to surfaces in your home and car and linger for years. They're on floors, furniture, toys. Everywhere children and pets touch and play. What you can't see can still cause harm. Protect your family from third-hand smoke. Visit mainequitlink.com to learn the risks.
Again, everyone, as I'm sure you know by now, Newport's Cooper Flagg has been named NBA Rookie of the Year. But in case you missed it, the Dallas Mavericks put out a video with some familiar faces congratulating Coop. But there's a story behind it. First, we'll show you the clip.
Congratulations, bud. I never doubted that you could do it. The growth and maturity that you have shown day in and day out through this process, through this grind, is just absolutely incredible. And I couldn't be any prouder.
Rookie of the Year, expected. So now we got more years to worry about. So you just can't let down now. Got to keep working even harder.
You know, it's been an amazing year. You've worked your butt off to get where you are. We're just so super proud of you. And just keep building on it. Keep your nose down and keep grinding.
Coop, I just want to congratulate you on Rookie of the Year. I know this means a lot to you. You were built for this. You're more than deserving. You got it. And now we got to focus on the next step. What's next? Let's get back to work.
Great video, right? And if you're like me, you just assume Kelly, Ralph, Flagg, and Ace and Matt were given the information slightly in advance in order to get that video done. Well, it turns out they recorded it last summer.
Believe it or not, I did not.
Really?
And neither did Cooper. We all found out at the same time on TV. The social media video that went out through the Mavs, that was actually pre-recorded last summer.
Really?
It was one of the strangest interviews I've ever done, and as a very superstitious person, I was very reluctant to do it, just because I didn't want to go and, say something that wasn't actually happening yet.
Yeah.
And so the first couple takes of that interview didn't go well, because I wasn't prepared to say congratulations on Rookie of the Year before he's even started his rookie season.
I mean, I'm with Matt. That would have freaked me right out, but thankfully it all worked out in the end. Let's swing things over to Husson now, where a member of the Eagles softball team received a national recognition this week. Eagles pitcher Anna Lang was named this week's Division III Pitcher of the Week by the National Fast Pitch Coaches Association. This marks the first time in Husson softball history that a member of the team was selected for the award. The award is well-deserved, as Long pitched a total of 25 innings in 5 games for the Eagles, recording 57 strikeouts and only allowing 9 hits and 5 walks over that span. Anna says the award is great, but at this point in the season, that is not what she's focused on.
It's a good feeling, but it's not the end goal. So it's a good achievement to see, just a little bit of reassurance, but still coming in and working.
Eagles head coach Rick Roberts says the award was in the making for a long time, and Anna is finally getting the recognition she deserves.
Well, I've known this kid since she's 8 years old, and she's put the time in. She works her butt off. I'm not surprised. She's really a team player. You know, she does this for her team. She doesn't do it for herself.
Anna is locked in there for now. That's all the time we have for sports. Here is your full 5-day forecast.
All right, thank you. Patriot General Contractors, your go-to for all your carpentry needs. All right, we're talking weather out there for us today, and some big changes are on the way that start tonight, but more so throughout the day tomorrow, as a big pattern change now kicking in, bringing us cooler temperatures tomorrow, kind of windy in there as well, with cooler temperatures and rain showers tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, into Saturday. So again, a big change is on the way. Lows today, though, not so bad. Near freezing here in Bangor area, 35 for Millinocket, but look at the recovery again today. Back up in the mid-60s, so slightly cooler than yesterday. Okay, we got that, but it was sunny, a gorgeous day. But these hours are numbered because cooler air is on the way, just to the west of us now across the Great Lakes. That's going to slide our direction with some rain showers tomorrow and kind of camp out for a while, too. Likely high temperatures near 50 for Thursday into Friday and Saturday going forward. So out there today, the wind, not bad, basically out of the south, around 5 miles per hour. This is going to begin to increase across the area tonight and throughout the day tomorrow. So again, generally more breezy tomorrow into Thursday and Friday as well, as a big pattern change kicking in will make it windier across our region. Enough now for a small craft advisory as well. And wave heights already approaching 5 or 6 feet, currently just offshore. So here's that small craft advisory. And also there's a gale watch in here as well, as we're going to kick up the winds even more tomorrow night into parts of really Thursday into Friday. So get ready. A windier stretch of weather is on the way. Also on the way, some rain showers. So again, today it was gorgeous out there. Plenty of sunshine, temperatures in the 60s, a light wind in there. But just to the west, there's a front over here, and it's a front right behind it, much cooler air. This is moving our direction for late tonight, more so tomorrow, and will bring us some rain showers tomorrow. And then once those rain showers get here, there's going to be several more kind of behind that will keep the rain showers going really Thursday into Friday and Saturday. Futurecast shows clouding over tonight, followed by some rain showers probably around dawn tomorrow, then light rain showers off and on throughout the day tomorrow. That will turn into heavier rain showers Thursday afternoon into Thursday evening, and they'll likely continuing at this probably till Friday as well. So we have quite a bit of rain to get through. In fact, some models want to give us 1 or 2 inches of rain between now and Sunday morning. So overall, a pretty wet period on the way. Our forecast then for tonight, though, is increasing clouds. There could be a couple of rain showers by around daybreak tomorrow. Look for low temperatures down near 40 for tomorrow. Here's that change. Lots of clouds around, some rain showers in the air. Look for highs only in the low 50s tomorrow, with a southeast wind changing out of the northwest. And looking ahead, your 5-day forecast shows a lot of rain for Thursday into Friday, maybe a quick shower early Saturday morning, but right now looking better for Saturday and Sunday before more rain arrives Sunday evening into Monday with temperatures in the 50s.
Thank you, Jeff. And there is more local news just ahead.
Diabetes isn't a death sentence, but it is absolutely a life sentence, and you have to figure out how you're going to keep your kid alive. So when you find somebody from the government that's on your side, and it happens to be Susan Collins at the same time, that was just magnificent. After the meeting in Portland for my wife and son, my wife came back. She was 10 feet tall. She'd felt seen, she felt heard, and she felt like we had a powerful advocate on our side. No, it was a big step towards healing.
Thank you, Senator Collins.
Please continue delivering for T1 families.
Approachable, knowledgeable, likable, all around able. Visit a Frank Webb Home showroom where you'll find bath products,
kitchen fixtures, and lighting solutions, as well as expert guidance on how to enhance your space with products you'll love. Personal service to help you find your personal style. Visit frankweb.com to find a Frank Web home, bath, kitchen, and lighting showroom near you.
Roto-Rooter has served the greater Bangor area and beyond for 35 years, offering plumbing, hydrojetting, snaking, descaling, video inspection, and grease interceptor cleaning services. For all your residential and commercial clogs, call Roto-Rooter today, 990-1234.
And away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
At the Challenger Learning Center of Maine, our mission to inspire Maine students has never been stronger. Our newly renovated facility is open and ready to launch. We have upgraded simulator rooms, refreshed learning spaces, and new hands-on STEM experiences. Check out our exciting upcoming events for students, educators, and families. There's always something happening at Challenger. Ready for liftoff? Explore what's new and what's next at the Challenger Learning Center of Maine. Visit astronaut.org for details.
Welcome back. Congratulations are in order for one Ellsworth School District alumnus who has just been named a 2026 Truman Scholar. Elizabeth Ford is currently a junior at Brandeis University, double majoring in health science and policy, as well as women's gender and sexuality studies. Her studies focus on the intersection of public health and rural community needs. Elizabeth is one of just 55 students to receive the prestigious scholarship out of over 780 candidates who applied for it. The scholarship recognizes college juniors who have shown, quote, exceptional leadership potential and a deep commitment to public service. Well, lobster traps that have outlived their usefulness are getting repurposed here in Maine thanks to a local nonprofit. Our Jody Hersey has more.
There's a lot of noise coming from the end of Walters Road in Gouldsboro.
We're working alongside the fishing community. We want them to bring their end-of-life gear to facilities like we have here in Gouldsboro, and we want them to let us know where they've lost gear as well in the ocean, because we can work to get that out of the way.
WVII, a Maine nonprofit, has a program called Traps to Treasures that accepts old traps taking up space in people's yards. The nonprofit's co-founder says he also has divers that can recover lost gear and bring it to shore.
There's not a single fishing industry that doesn't inevitably lose some equipment over their time.
Once the traps are here, employees like Shaylin Russell help break them apart.
We just slowly pick at them, and then after a while it starts to really show what you're doing.
So we cut out the aluminum funnel hoops. Those go off for recycling. We cut off all the hard plastic corners and cleats. And those actually get sent for shredding and grinding to be turned into 3D printer filament. Wire cage itself ends up getting crushed and scrap steel.
WVII has successfully collected over 9,600 traps from fishermen this year alone on Matinicus Island, Vinyl Haven, and here in Gouldsboro.
And the minute we started this process, we had fishermen coming from all over letting us know where the gear is, how they can help, and eager to donate.
Reduce, reuse, and recycling, one Maine lobster trap at a time. In Gouldsboro, I'm Jody Hersey for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Such a cool thing to see. Our thanks to Jody for that report. And that is going to do it for us, folks, from everyone here at ABC 7 News. Take care and have a great rest of your night. We can also see you over on Fox 22 News tonight at 6:30. Join us.
Tonight, in the face of a global oil...
He has no defense to that. He may think he has a defense. His stupid defense was, well, I finished half the job and I got half the money. That's ridiculous. And if he gave you a good price, what you should have been was cautious.
And we were cautious.
We're evidently not
But we
cautious
put
enough.
$3,100 down for him to start. And then just to get him to do work, we had to put more money out of our pocket.
$3,100. Judgment for the plaintiff. You have to give them back what they paid you. We're done.
The parties are excused when they step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
My opinion's the only one that counts.
The guy has a scam artist, and we have to pay more money out of pocket now to fix his wrongdoing.
I thought it was fine. I done half the work. They give me half the money, I done half the work.
Day 2, after we paid him the money, he came up to me and told me he did not have any money and I needed to pay for something. In that moment, I knew that it was a bad choice.
I just can't get along with them. There's no getting along with them.
The reason I think it's absurd is because, I mean, we texted him, we were nice, we were courteous.
We just didn't see eye to eye on nothing.
We gave him more time. We even gave him a completed contract.
And he's saying the work wasn't done right. I know it was.
So we kind of were stuck in, hey, you have our money, finish our pad. What can we do to do that?
Can't please everyone.
This is Fox 22 News Tonight.
Fire crews are responding to what started as a small debris burn in Piscataquis County and ended up scorching over an acre of woodland in Williamsburg Township. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Beth Jones. It's happening in the area of 811 Williamsburg Road. Multiple crews are joined by the Maine Forest Service in battling this destructive wildfire. We know that one individual has been displaced, but no occupants of the residence there were injured. One firefighter was treated on scene for minor injuries. After speaking with crews, we know the fire started behind a mobile home as an unpermitted debris burn and then spread into the trailer. That home is now a total loss, as are multiple surrounding buildings and vehicles.
It actually today couldn't have worked out any better. The Forest Service had resources right in the area, so they were able to show up on scene very quickly.